The whisper of ancient parchments echoed through the dark corridors of the Vatican's secret archives. My trembling fingers glided over the yellowed pages as my eyes widened at the revelations unfolding before me. I, Dr. Leonardo Salvatore, archaeologist and historian, was about to uncover an ancient secret that would shake the foundations of faith and science. It all started 3 months ago, when I received an anonymous letter containing a rusty key and cryptic coordinates. Curiosity, be damned, led me on a journey that culminated at that moment in the bowels of the Vatican, where the heavy air carried the weight of ancient secrets. The hours dragged by as I deciphered texts in archaic Latin, ancient Greek, and long-forgotten languages. My heart raced with each new discovery, each piece of the puzzle fitting together to form a picture that defied human comprehension. It was then that I found the manuscript. Hidden among dusty volumes of ecclesiastical history, the document bore the papal seal of Sylvester II, who ruled the Church in the year 1000. The first lines made my blood run cold. May these words never see the light of day, for what we witness defies divine creation itself. They came from heaven, not as angels, but as visitors from worlds beyond our comprehension. My mind was spinning. Was it possible? Did the Vatican hold evidence of an extraterrestrial contact that took place over 1,000 years ago? The implications were astronomical, capable of redefining human history and our position in the universe. I read on, absorbing every word with a mixture of fascination and terror. The account detailed a luminous object that descended from the sky, landing on the outskirts of Rome. Sylvester II, then known as Gerber of Aurillac, was called in to investigate the phenomenon. What he found defied logic and faith. They were creatures of light and shadow, their bodies fluid like mercury, their voices echoing in our minds without moving their lips. They spoke of distant stars and civilizations beyond imagination. But what terrified us most was their message: we are not alone, and we are not the first. My body trembled as I absorbed these revelations. The manuscript went on to describe incomprehensible technologies, knowledge that defied the laws of physics, and dark prophecies about the future of humanity. Sylvester II, tormented by what he had witnessed, decided to conceal the truth, fearing that it would destroy faith and plunge the world into chaos. As I read, a feeling of being watched grew within me. The dark corridors seemed to close in around me, and the shadows took on a life of their own. Was I being paranoid, or was there something else in those archives besides ancient secrets? A sudden noise made me jump. I turned around quickly, my heart hammering against my chest. For an instant, I swore I saw a figure moving in the shadows, its contours fluid and iridescent. I blinked, and the vision dissipated. Was I letting my imagination take over? Or was there something else going on? I returned to the manuscript, determined to unlock its secrets before someone or something interrupted me. The following pages revealed a meticulous plan to conceal all evidence of the encounter. Relics were hidden, witnesses silenced, and a secret section of the archives was created to guard the truth. May God forgive us for what we do, wrote Sylvester II, but humanity is not ready for this truth. Perhaps it never will be. As I delved deeper into the text, a growing restlessness took hold of me. The words seemed to take on a life of their own, whispering secrets that went beyond what was written. It was as if the manuscript itself was trying to convey something to me, a hidden message between the lines. It was then that I noticed strange, almost imperceptible symbols marked in the margins of the pages. They weren't notes in any known language, but something completely alien. My fingers traced the contours of the symbols, and for a moment, I felt a connection, as if an electric charge ran through my body. Images began to flood my mind. Visions of distant worlds, civilizations beyond human comprehension, and a warning, a terrible warning of something to come. The sound of footsteps echoing through the corridors snapped me out of my trance. Someone was approaching. I quickly put the manuscript away and hid in the shadows. 2 men in black cassocks hurried past, talking in low voices. "He's here," said one of them. "We need to find him before he does." My heart raced. They knew I was there, but how? And what else did they know? I waited until the footsteps moved away before leaving my hiding place. I knew I didn't have much time. I needed to escape with what I had discovered, but something told me that getting out of there wouldn't be easy. I gathered up the manuscript and other documents I had separated and put them in my bag. As I prepared to flee, one last page caught my eye. It was a map, old and faded, marked with locations around the world. Each mark corresponded to a date, dates of possible contacts throughout history. I memorized as much as I could before putting the map away with the other documents. With my heart racing and my mind full of unanswered questions, I prepared to leave the secret archives. But as I turned to leave, I froze. In front of me, blocking the way, was a figure that defied logic. It was neither human nor completely solid. Its body rippled like liquid mercury, reflecting the dim light in the room. "You've seen too much," said a voice in my mind. "Now you're part of it." And just like that, my life changed forever. What began as a quest for historical knowledge turned into a journey that would challenge everything I believed I knew about the universe and our place in it. The secret that the Vatican had kept for 1,000 years was now my burden, and I knew at that moment that nothing would ever be the same. The creature before me oscillated like living mercury, its undefined form reflecting the faint light of the archives. My body froze, torn between fascination and absolute terror. The voice in my mind echoed, reverberating through every cell of my being. "You are the chosen one, Leonardo Salvatore, the guardian of the truth that time forgot." I swallowed, my throat as dry as parchment. "Who? What are you?" I managed to stammer, my trembling voice betraying my fear. The entity floated closer, its iridescent body pulsing with an energy I could feel vibrating in the air. "We are the Watchers, those who came before and those who will come after. Guardians of the cosmic balance." My mind spun, struggling to process the inconceivable. The aliens mentioned in Sylvester II's manuscript weren't just visitors from the past. They were still here, hiding in the shadows of history. "Why now?" I asked, finding courage I didn't know I possessed. "Why reveal this after 1,000 years?" The creature emitted a sound that could be interpreted as a cosmic sigh. "Time is running out, Leonardo. Humanity is on the edge of a precipice, and the knowledge you have discovered is the key to its salvation, or its destruction." Before I could question further, the sound of hurried footsteps echoed through the corridors. The creature dissolved into the shadows, leaving only a final whisper in my mind. "Run. Survive. The truth must be revealed." I didn't need another warning. I grabbed my bag with the precious documents and ran like never before. The labyrinthine corridors of the secret archives seemed to twist and turn around me, as if the Vatican itself was trying to trap me. Voices echoed behind me, shouts in Latin and Italian mixed with the sound of heavy footsteps. Guards? Priests? Or something worse? I didn't dare look back to find out. I turned a corner and came across a spiral staircase that seemed to go up endlessly. Without hesitation, I began to climb, my lungs burning and my muscles protesting with every step. The weight of the secrets in my bag seemed to increase with every moment. As I climbed, flashes of memory from the manuscript flashed through my mind. Prophecies of a dark future, warnings about technologies beyond human comprehension, and the terrible responsibility that now weighed on my shoulders. Finally, I reached a door at the top of the stairs. I pushed it with all the strength I had left, emerging onto a small balcony overlooking St. Peter's Square. The cool Roman night air hit me like a wave, momentarily disorienting me. I looked down and my stomach churned. I was at a dizzying height, with no apparent escape route. The sounds of pursuit were getting closer, echoing up the staircase I had just climbed. It was then that I noticed one of the alien symbols I had seen in the manuscript was engraved on the balustrade of the balcony. Instinctively, I touched it, and at the same moment, a section of the wall next to me slid silently away, revealing a secret passage. Without a second thought, I plunged into the darkness. The passage closed behind me just as I heard the balcony door open violently. I was safe for the moment, but plunged into complete darkness. Groping my way down the cold, damp walls, I started down a sloping tunnel. The air was heavy with the smell of centuries, and each step echoed ominously in the silence. My mind wandered between the terror of the unknown ahead of me and the danger I had left behind. After what seemed like an eternity, the tunnel opened up into a circular chamber. The dim light of ancient torches on the walls revealed a spectacle that left me breathless. The room was filled with artifacts that defied logic, objects that pulsed with strange energy, star maps of unknown systems. And in the center, a structure that could only be described as a portal. I approached cautiously, my eyes scanning the alien symbols engraved on the portal's frame. They were identical to the ones I had seen in the manuscript. My heart raced with the realization this was physical proof of extraterrestrial contact, hidden deep within the Vatican for millennia. A low hum began to emanate from the portal, gradually increasing in intensity. The symbols began to glow with a bluish light, and the air in the chamber became charged with static electricity. I took a step back, my instinct screaming at me to run. But where to? I was trapped between the stranger in front of me and the pursuers surely still looking for me. It was then that I heard the voice again, not in my ears, but resonating directly in my mind. The choice is yours, Leonardo Salvatore. Flee and protect the secrets you have discovered, or face a fate beyond your comprehension. The portal was pulsating now, an ethereal mist forming in its center. I could hear distant voices echoing down the tunnel I had come through. My pursuers had found the secret passage. With my heart in my throat and my mind in turmoil, I made my choice. I clutched the bag containing the documents to my chest and took a step towards the portal. The mist enveloped me, cold as ice and hot as fire at the same time. At the last moment, I looked back. I saw figures emerging from the tunnel, their expressions a mixture of shock and fury. Among them, I recognized faces that shouldn't have been there. People I knew, trusted, now revealed as part of this millennia-old conspiracy. Then the world around me dissolved into light. I felt my body being pulled, stretched, and compressed simultaneously. My consciousness floated in an ocean of incomprehensible information, flashes of other worlds, other realities. When the sensation passed and my feet touched the ground again, I opened my eyes to a scene that defied everything I knew. I was no longer in the Vatican, nor in Rome, nor even on the earth I knew. The sky above was a deep purple, dotted with 2 moons and unknown constellations. Crystalline structures rose up around me, pulsing with the same energy I had felt in the portal. I staggered, my mind struggling to process what had happened. I had crossed not only space, but possibly time. The revelations in the manuscript, the encounter with the alien being, the desperate escape, everything had led to this moment. As I tried to catch my breath and calm my chaotic thoughts, a familiar figure materialized before me. It was the Watcher, his fluid form now more defined in this alien environment. "Welcome, Leonardo," the voice resounded in my mind, "to the beginning of your true journey. Here you will learn the truth about your world, your past, and the future that is at stake." I looked down at the bag in my hands, the secrets of the Vatican now seeming insignificant compared to what awaited me. A mixture of fear and excitement ran through my body. I had escaped from the Vatican secret archives only to find myself thrown into an even greater cosmic mystery. And something told me that the revelations that awaited me would change not only my life, but the fate of all humanity. The air tasted metallic, full of aromas that my senses couldn't decipher. My body was still shaking with the residual energy of the interdimensional crossing, while my eyes struggled to adapt to the strange light of this alien world. The Watcher floated before me, his ethereal form clearer in this environment. His features, if they could be called that, seemed to change constantly, as if he were switching between thousands of faces in a matter of seconds. Where are we?" I managed to stammer, my voice hoarse and shaky. "This is Nexus Prime. replied the being, its voice echoing directly in my mind. A nexus between realities, a point of convergence where timelines meet and separate. I looked around, absorbing the surreal details of the environment. The crystalline structures that surrounded us pulsed with a living energy, subtly changing color and shape. In the sky, beyond the two moons, I saw what looked like a nebula in constant motion, its colors dancing like a cosmic aurora borealis. "Why did you bring me here?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady despite the whirlwind of emotions that was consuming me. The observer made a fluid gesture with what could be called his hand, and suddenly we were in another place. A circular room, its walls covered in holographic projections of galaxies, planets, and interwoven timelines. "So that you understand, Leonardo," the being replied. "What you have discovered in the Vatican archives is just the tip of a cosmic iceberg. The history of the Earth, of humanity, is much more complex and interconnected with the rest of the universe than you realize." The images on the walls came to life, showing scenes from Earth's history. I saw pyramids being built, but with technologies that seemed futuristic. Ancient civilizations performing feats that defied modern understanding. "The contacts didn't start in the year 1000, continued the observer. "They've been happening since the beginning of human civilization, sometimes subtle, sometimes direct. We guide, we observe, we intervene when necessary." My mind spun with the implications. "So, everything we believe about our history, that's a simplified version," the being added. "The truth is much more complex and, for many, frightening." The images changed, showing scenes of war, destruction, and chaos on a planetary scale. "There have been experiments," said the observer, his voice laden with something that could be interpreted as regret. "Not all interventions have been beneficial. Some races see Earth and humanity as resources to be exploited." I felt a shiver run down my spine. "What about you? What is your role in all this?" The being paused, as if carefully choosing his words. "We are guardians of the cosmic balance. We observe, intervene when necessary, and correct mistakes." The images on the walls changed again, showing events I recognized from recent history. World wars, technological advances, the space race. But now I saw hidden details. Strange figures in the shadows, technologies that seemed too advanced for the time. "The manuscript you found," continued the observer, "was one of many attempts to document the truth. Sylvester II was one of the few humans throughout history who understood the vastness of what was at stake." I remembered the words in the manuscript, the terror and reverence in the Pope's words. But why hide it? Why not reveal the truth to the world? The being emitted a sound that could be interpreted as a cosmic sigh. "Humanity has not always been ready for the truth. Knowledge, without wisdom, can be destructive. But now time is running out." The images on the walls sped up, showing the present and the future. I saw burning cities, rising seas, and something descending from the sky. Something vast and terrifying. "What? What is that?" I asked, my heart racing with fear. "What you would call an apocalypse," replied the watcher. "A convergence of cosmic events, human choices, and alien interventions that threaten not only Earth, but the balance of the entire galactic sector." I staggered, feeling the weight of the revelation. "And what can I do? I'm just an archaeologist, a historian. How can I stop this?" The being approached, its fluid form pulsing with an energy that I could feel reverberating in my own body. "You are more than you think, Leonardo Salvatore. Your encounter with the manuscript was no coincidence. You were chosen." "Chosen? For what?" "To be the catalyst," replied the observer. "The one who will reveal the truth to the world and guide humanity through the coming storm." Before I could fully process what I was hearing, the being made another gesture. The room around us dissolved, and we found ourselves in a vast hall. Dozens of other creatures, some similar to the Watcher, others completely alien beyond my comprehension, surrounded us. "The Council of Guardians," announced the Watcher. "They oversee the balance of countless galaxies and dimensions. And now, Leonardo, They will judge you. I felt the weight of countless stares on me, some curious, some skeptical, and some hostile. I realized that what would happen here, in this place beyond the stars, would determine not only my fate, but potentially the fate of all humanity. A voice, or perhaps thousands of voices in unison, echoed through the hall. Leonardo Salvatore of Earth, you have been brought before us at a moment of cosmic crisis. The choices you make here will have repercussions that will echo through time and space. Are you prepared to carry this burden? I swallowed, feeling the weight of billions of lives on my shoulders. Part of me wanted to run away, to deny it all, to return to the safety of my previous life. But I knew there was no going back. The knowledge I now possessed, the truths I had discovered, could not be ignored. With a courage I didn't know I possessed, I took a step forward. I'm ready, I declared, my voice firmer than I felt inside. The hall erupted in a murmur of alien voices, some approving, others clearly in disagreement. The observer next to me remained silent, but I felt a wave of pride emanating from him. The voice of the council spoke again. Well done. Your journey begins now, Leonardo Salvatore. You will be tested, challenged, and transformed. The fate of the Earth and the cosmic balance rest in your hands. As the hall dissolved into a mist of light and energy, I realized that my life as I knew it was over. Ahead of me stretched a path of cosmic mysteries, unimaginable dangers and truths that would challenge everything humanity believed it knew. The archaeologist who had entered the Vatican's secret archives was no more. In his place was a man, or something else, destined to navigate between worlds and realities, carrying the weight of forbidden knowledge and the responsibility of saving not only the Earth, but perhaps the entire fabric of reality. As the transformation began, a single certainty echoed in my mind. Nothing would ever be the same. The journey beyond the stars had only just begun. The transformation began as a tingling sensation at the base of my skull, a subtle sensation that quickly spread, enveloping my mind in a web of cosmic energy. Colors that had no name danced before my eyes, and sounds that defied comprehension echoed in my ears. Don't resist, the observer's voice echoed in my consciousness. Allow knowledge to flow through you. Easier said than done. My whole body trembled, every cell seeming to rewrite itself. It was as if I was being taken apart and reassembled on a quantum level. The pain was indescribable, but at the same time, I felt a euphoria that transcended any human experience. Flashes of information flooded my mind. I saw the formation of galaxies, the birth and death of stars, the evolution of countless species on distant worlds. The history of the Earth unfolded before me, not as we knew it, but in its true form, a complex tapestry of alien interventions, cosmic experiments, and intertwined destinies. I understood, in an instant of crystal clarity, that humanity had never been alone. From the first hominids to the modern era, our evolution has been guided, sometimes subtly, sometimes directly, by beings from beyond the stars. The great achievements of human history, the pyramids, the wonders of the ancient world, the unexplained technological leaps, were all part of a great cosmic plan. But with this knowledge came a terrible realization. I saw the dangers that lurked in the shadows of the cosmos. Alien races with dark intentions, entities that fed on chaos and destruction, and threats that the human mind could barely comprehend. The balance is fragile, the Council's voice resounded in my mind. Every choice, every action has repercussions that echo through the fabric of reality. Images of Earth's future danced before my eyes. I saw ruined cities, boiling oceans, and skies darkened by alien ships. But I also glimpsed possibilities of hope, humanity rising up, united, facing cosmic threats with courage and determination. The avalanche of information was overwhelming. I felt my identity dissolving, my sense of self fragmenting under the weight of cosmic knowledge. For a terrifying moment, I thought I was going to lose myself completely, my consciousness dispersing into the vast ocean of the universe. It was then that I felt an anchor. A memory, the soft touch of an old page, the smell of dusty books, the thrill of discovery, the Vatican archives, the manuscript, the beginning of everything. I clung to this memory, using it as a beacon in the cosmic storm that was enveloping me. Slowly, painfully, I began to reintegrate the fragments of my consciousness. I was Leonardo Salvatore, archaeologist, historian, and now, something more. When the transformation finally stopped, I opened my eyes to a new universe. The world around me looked the same. The hall of the Council of Guardians, the alien creatures watching me, but my perception had fundamentally changed. I could see the lines of energy that connected all things, the currents of time flowing around us, the multiple layers of reality superimposed like a cosmic palimpsest. "It is complete," declared the observer, his voice now carrying nuances and meanings that I couldn't perceive before. "You have been reborn, Leonardo Salvatore, a hybrid of human and cosmic guardian." I looked at my hands, apparently unchanged, but now pulsing with an energy I could feel and manipulate. What have I become? "You are the Nexus," replied a voice from the council. "The bridge between humanity and the cosmos. Through you, the secrets of the universe will be revealed to Earth, and the fate of your world will be decided." The magnitude of the responsibility that now weighed on my shoulders was overwhelming. How could I, a simple archaeologist just a few days ago, carry the fate of all humanity? As if reading my thoughts, and perhaps he really could now, the Watcher approached. "You are not alone on this journey, Leonardo. We will be your guides, your mentors, but the choices, the crucial decisions, will be yours." I nodded slowly, still processing everything that had happened. Where do we start? The room around us changed, transforming into a vast control chamber. Energy screens showed different locations on Earth, timelines branching out into countless possibilities. "Your world is on the brink of a cataclysmic revelation," explained one of the council members, a creature of pure light whose form I could barely comprehend. "The barriers between dimensions are weakening. Long-hidden secrets are about to come to light." Another creature, this one looking like a mist of darkness dotted with stars, continued, "There are factions on Earth, governments, secret organizations, powerful individuals who are aware of part of the truth. Some seek knowledge for the good of humanity, others for personal gain and power." The observer pointed to one of the screens, showing a familiar image, the Vatican. "Your journey began in the secret archives of Leonardo. That's where you should return first. There are more secrets buried in the catacombs of the church, secrets that could be the key to saving your world." I felt a mixture of fear and excitement run through my body. Returning to the Vatican meant facing those from whom I had fled. But now, with my new powers and knowledge, the game had changed completely. "What about those who chased me?" I asked. "They will surely be waiting for me." The council emitted a sound that could be interpreted as collective laughter. "You're no longer the man who escaped from the archives, Leonardo. You are much more. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Your actions will have consequences that will echo throughout the cosmos." I nodded, feeling the weight of those words. I looked again at the energy screens, at the countless possibilities that stretched out before me. Somewhere in that maze of possible futures lay Earth's salvation, and I was the key to finding it. "I'm ready," I declared, my voice carrying a confidence that surprised even myself. The Watcher gestured, and a portal of light opened before us. Through it, I could see St. Peter's Square, bathed in the light of dawn. "Remember, Leonardo," said the Watcher, as I prepared to step through the portal. "The truth you carry is both a blessing and a curse. Use it wisely. The fate of the Earth, and perhaps the entire cosmos, depends on your choices." With one last look at the Council of Guardians, I took a step towards the portal. My mind was filled with cosmic knowledge, my body pulsed with energies beyond human comprehension, and my heart was determined to fulfill my mission. As the light from the portal enveloped me, a certainty solidified in my mind. The world I knew was over. A new era was about to begin. And I, Leonardo Salvatore, once a simple archaeologist, was now the herald of this cosmic change. The Vatican awaited me, and with it, the first step on the journey to save humanity. The fresh Roman morning air enveloped me as I emerged from the portal, my feet touching the familiar ground of St. Peter's Square. The contrast between the cosmic environment I had just left and earthly reality was disorientating. For a moment, I was paralyzed, my mind struggling to reconcile my new perception with the world I once knew so well. The square was almost empty, just a few early risers and Vatican officials crossing the vast space. I looked down at my hands, seemingly normal, but pulsing with an energy that I could feel flowing through every fiber of my being. I was the same Leonardo Salvatore on the outside, but on the inside, I was an expanding universe. I took a deep breath, feeling the air in a completely new way. I could perceive every molecule, every particle of dust, every fragment of history that hung in the air. What's more, I could feel the currents of time, the overlapping layers of reality that permeated the place. Focusing on my new perception, I observed the Vatican. What was once just an impressive architectural feat was now revealed as a nexus of cosmic energies. Interwoven lines of force, some as old as time itself, others pulsing with a fresh vitality, converged on the basilica and the surrounding buildings. Incredible, isn't it? The observer's familiar voice echoed in my mind. The Vatican has always been more than just the center of the Catholic Church. It's a focal point, a nexus where earthly and cosmic energies meet. I nodded silently, amazed at the complexity of what I was seeing. How should I proceed? I asked mentally, still getting used to this new form of communication. With caution, replied the observer. Your pursuers are still waiting for you, but you are no longer the prey. Remember, Leonardo, with your new status comes great responsibility. Use your powers wisely. I took another deep breath, centering myself. With a thought, I subtly altered my appearance. Nothing drastic, just enough not to be immediately recognizable. Then, with determined steps, I crossed the square towards the entrance to the Vatican museums. As I approached, I noticed guards strategically positioned. Their gazes swept the crowd, clearly looking for someone. Me, I realized. But their eyes passed me by without recognition. Using my new perception, I examined the structure of the building. Layer upon layer of history was revealed, and with it, long-buried secrets. I saw hidden passages, secret chambers, and something else. Something ancient and powerful. Pulsing in the depths, I entered the museum, mingling with the first visitors of the day. My mind was processing information at a dizzying pace, decoding hidden symbols in the works of art, perceiving patterns invisible to normal human eyes. It was then that I saw him, Cardinal Vittorio Santoro, the man I now knew to be the guardian of the Vatican's deepest secrets. He was walking hurriedly down a side corridor, his face a mask of concern. On an impulse, I decided to follow him. Moving like a shadow, I used my new skills to go unnoticed. The Cardinal entered a richly decorated office, closing the door behind him. But to my heightened perception, the walls were almost transparent. I watched as Santoro activated a hidden mechanism in his desk. A secret passage opened, revealing a staircase that descended into the depths. Without hesitation, he began to descend. Waiting a few moments, I followed. The passage led me into a labyrinth of ancient tunnels, far below the known levels of the Vatican catacombs. The air here was dense, heavy with the weight of millennia-old secrets. Finally, I reached a vast chamber. What I saw there made my heart race. In the center of the circular space was a device that defied human logic. It was a mixture of alien technology and ancient terrestrial artifacts, pulsing with an energy I recognized from my encounters on Nexus Prime. Cardinal Santoro stood in front of the device, his hands moving over complex controls. Around him, other high-ranking members of the Vatican were muttering in a language I had never heard before, but now understood perfectly. "The veil is breaking," said Santoro, his voice laden with urgency. The barriers between the dimensions are thinner than ever. If we don't act now, everything we've worked for over the last millennia will be in vain. One of the other cardinals, an elderly man whose eyes shone with a knowledge beyond human, replied, "What about the manuscript? The fugitive?" Santoro made a gesture of dismissal. "A distraction. The real danger is what lies ahead. The ancients are stirring in their eternal slumber. If they awaken fully—" He didn't need to finish the sentence. The terror in his eyes said it all. It was at that moment that I made a mistake. In my eagerness to hear more, I took a step forward, momentarily forgetting to keep myself hidden. My foot struck a small pebble, the sound echoing in the silent chamber. All eyes turned in my direction. "Intruder!" shouted one of the cardinals. Santoro, however, stared at me with a mixture of shock and recognition. "You!" he exclaimed. "How is that possible? You should be—" I didn't wait for him to finish. Using my new skills, I created a distraction, a burst of light that temporarily blinded everyone in the room. Taking advantage of the confusion, I ran towards the device in the center of the chamber. Something inside me, perhaps the cosmic knowledge implanted by the Guardians, knew that this machine was the key. I touched it, feeling the energy flow through me. Images flooded my mind. I saw the true history of the Earth, the long battle between cosmic forces, the Vatican's role as guardian of secrets that could destroy or save humanity. And I saw something else, something terrible approaching. A threat beyond comprehension, ancient and implacable. "Stop!" Santoro's voice cut through my vision. "You don't know what you're doing." But I did. For the first time since this whole journey began, I really did. I looked at Santoro, my eyes now shining with the knowledge of the cosmos. "Cardinal," I said, my voice carrying the weight of galaxies, "we have a lot to talk about." Santoro's expression changed from anger to astonishment, and then understanding. You went further," he muttered. "You saw." I nodded. "And now, more than ever, I know that the fate of the Earth, of the entire cosmos, depends on what we do next." As the other cardinals surrounded us, ancient weapons and alien devices in hand, I remained calm. The knowledge I now possessed, the powers that flowed through me, were only the beginning. The real battle, I realized, was just beginning. And I, Leonardo Salvatore, once a simple archaeologist, now found myself at the center of a cosmic war that would determine the fate of everything that exists. The device behind me pulsed, as if in response to my thoughts, and in that moment, I knew that the choices I would make next would shape not only the future of the Earth, but the fate of the entire universe. The air in the underground chamber crackled with supernatural energy. My source, Leonardo Salvatore, once a simple archaeologist, now a nexus between the earthly and the cosmic, faced Cardinal Santoro and his entourage. The alien device behind me pulsed in sync with my racing heart, as if it were alive and aware of the crucial moment that was unfolding. "You have no idea what's at stake," Santoro said, his voice trembling slightly. Not from fear, I realized, but from an almost religious reverence as he watched me. "On the contrary, Cardinal," I replied, my voice carrying the echo of distant stars, "I see more clearly than ever." With a gesture, I projected images into the air around us. Galaxies forming and dying, alien civilizations rising and falling, and at the center of it all, Earth. A pale blue dot in the vast cosmic ocean, but of incalculable importance. "The ancients," I muttered, the words heavy on my tongue. "They're awakening, aren't they?" Santoro nodded gravely. "For millennia, the Vatican has been more than just the center of the Catholic Church. We are the guardians, the sentinels against threats that humanity could not comprehend." The images around us changed, showing beings of such an alien scale and nature that they defied comprehension. Creatures that existed between the folds of reality, ancient beyond the measure of time. "The ancients slept," Santoro continued, "kept in an ethereal slumber by rituals and technologies beyond modern comprehension. But now they're stirring," I added. "And if they awaken completely, not just the Earth, but all of reality as we know it will be in danger. The other cardinals murmured among themselves, some in earthly languages, others in dialects that sounded closer to the song of the stars than to any human language. I turned to the device, my mind expanding to understand its true nature. It wasn't just a machine, I realized, but a nexus, a point of convergence between dimensions. This device, I said, more to myself than to the others, is the key to everything, isn't it? An anchor that keeps reality stable, that prevents the ancients from crossing over completely into our plane of existence? Santoro approached, his initial fear giving way to cautious curiosity. You really see, don't you? You've gone beyond, you've touched the cosmos. I nodded. The Guardians showed me the truth, but they've also shown me that knowledge without action is useless. We need to act now, Cardinal. The fate of everything that exists depends on it. At that moment, the device began to emit a high-pitched sound, its energy pulsing erratically. The walls of the chamber shook, and I felt the very foundations of reality squirming. "It's starting," Santoro whispered, terror evident in his voice. Without hesitation, I placed my hands on the device. Cosmic energy flowed through me, connecting me not only to the machine, but to the entire web of reality. I saw the timelines intertwining, the possibilities unfolding before my eyes. "We need to reinforce the barriers," I shouted over the growing noise. "Cardinal, your knowledge of ancient rituals, combined with my cosmic connection. It's our only chance." Santoro hesitated for a moment, decades of secrecy and mistrust weighing on him, but then, with a decisive nod, he joined me. While Santoro chanted in a language older than the earth itself, I channeled cosmic energy through the device. The other cardinals joined in, forming a circle around us, their voices uniting in a supernatural harmony. The reality around us began to distort. I saw glimpses of other worlds, other dimensions, and at the edges of my perception, I felt them, the ancients, vast and incomprehensible, their alien consciousness turning towards our small planet. The pressure was immense. I felt as if my body and mind were going to shatter under the weight of the cosmic power flowing through me. But I clung to my humanity, to the memories that anchored me, the Vatican archives, the touch of ancient parchments, the smell of dusty books. "Almost there," I gasped, my voice barely audible over the clamor of reality reconfiguring itself. It was then that I heard, or perhaps felt, the observer's voice, echoing across the dimensions. "Remember, Leonardo, you are the bridge, the nexus between worlds. Only you can complete the convergence." I understood in that moment of crystal clarity what needed to be done. With a cry that echoed through time and space, I unleashed all the cosmic power within me. An explosion of pure light flooded the chamber. For an eternal instant, I saw the entire history of the universe unfold before my eyes. The birth and death of stars, the rise and fall of civilizations, the eternal cycles of creation and destruction. And then, silence. When I finally opened my eyes, I found myself on my knees, panting. The device in front of me was now glowing with a serene, stable light. Santoro and the other cardinals stared at me with a mixture of awe and reverence. "Is it finished?" asked one of the cardinals, his voice trembling. I closed my eyes, extending my perception. I could feel the barriers between the dimensions, now stronger than ever. The ancients, still present at the edges of reality, but once again asleep, their awakening postponed. "For now," I replied, slowly getting to my feet. "We've gained time, but the battle is far from over." Santoro approached, his eyes shining with new understanding. "What happens now, Leonardo?" I looked down at my hands, still glowing with residual energy. "Now, Cardinal, we begin the real work. The Vatican can no longer keep these secrets alone. It's time for humanity to awaken to its true nature, to its place in the cosmos." "But the world isn't ready," protested one of the cardinals. I smiled, feeling the weight of cosmic wisdom in my words. "The world will never be completely ready, but we have no choice. The ancients will awaken again, and when they do, we'll need all of humanity united to face them." In the days, weeks, and months that followed, I worked tirelessly alongside Santoro and other chosen members of the Vatican. Slowly, carefully, we began to reveal the truth to the world. Not all at once, humanity wasn't ready for that yet, but enough to start preparing our species for the cosmic challenges to come. In the meantime, I maintained my connection with the Guardians and the Cosmic Council. Through me, Earth finally began to take its first real steps as part of a larger galactic community. The road ahead would be long and full of dangers. I knew we would face resistance, fear, and even conflict as the truth spread. But I also saw hope. I saw humanity rising up, united, ready to face its destiny among the stars. And I, Leonardo Salvatore, once a simple archaeologist in search of historical truths, now found myself the guardian of cosmic truths. A post between worlds, between Earth's ancient past and its interstellar future. As I watched the sunset from the dome of St. Peter's Basilica, I reflected on the incredible journey that had brought me here. The manuscript I found in the Vatican secret archives had only been the beginning. Now the real work, the real adventure, was just beginning. The stars shone above, no longer distant and unreachable, but a constant reminder of our cosmic destiny and responsibility. And as night fell over Rome, I smiled, ready for the next chapter in our great cosmic odyssey. The universe was waiting, and we were finally ready to answer its call.